All right, guys, what is going on? This is episode 72 of the VF Cast. I am VF Baller. Every month, I try to do at least one show, and it's usually like at the end of the month, but the end of the month kind of rolled over a little late for November, so you're going to get episode 72 in the beginning of December. So we're going to talk about these three topics. I try to talk about things around the gaming world, and with all the positivity that's been going on my channel, unfortunately there's a lot of serious, I ain't gonna say serious, but there's a lot of bad things going on in the gaming world that I do want to discuss, because I try to keep it balanced, because I know that the positive stuff is great. The whole gaming collecting thing, that is really cool. I love the fact that people are coming together for all of that good stuff, and it's quite awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But then again, I do want to keep somewhat of a balance to where there are some things that we need to be aware of, so we can continue to be negative. Continue to be positive, if that makes sense. Because you just don't want to be blindsided by bad things that happen in the gaming world, especially when you're having a really good time. So you could be aware of these things. So I'm not one of these guys that try to jump on the bandwagon and hop on things and try to beat things over the head with the stick when things are going bad. I just want you guys to be aware, on top of me giving you my opinions on these things, because my opinions may be a little bit different than others. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this episode. We're going to be talking about the Street Fighter 6 outfit debacle. It looks really bad, and I'm gonna give you thoughts on that. Also, I'm gonna continue to talk about the Completionist. I talked about this probably about a week and a half ago, about the Completionist and the whole thing with the open hand charity. Give you my thoughts and opinions on that as well, because it looks like it's gotten much worse. And Sony is deleting TV shows for people. Even if they bought them, they're taking them off the store. And I wonder, I don't know, I'm going to go through this article. I wonder if you download them to your console, do you still get to keep them? Because I'm not sure if they're going to be in your purchase list after they delete them. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. But there's an article to this on Forbes that I'm going to go down, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions as I go through it. So hopefully you guys stick around. I really appreciate it. And we're just going to start off with Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 basically came out with another outfit. My outfit pack is called Outfit 3. And the pricing model is bad. I thought Dead or Alive was like, Dead or Alive 5 and 6 were like horrific, because you paid like $92 for the season pack. But in most cases, those costumes, you get anywhere between like 40, I think on average between 40 and 70 costumes, which I'm not justifying the price, because I haven't bought any of the DLC for Dead or Alive, even though I think their outfits are absolutely phenomenal in those games. Dead or Alive 5 and 6, especially 5, that was my game. I love playing DOA 5. And I just never thought it was going to be possible for me to pay $92 for a season pass, let alone, I think they had like 5 or 6 season passes. If you go to Steam right now, Dead or Alive has like the whole list of everything you can buy, and it's over $1,000. It's absolutely ridiculous with the DLC. So I didn't think they could be taught to buy Street Fighter, but as of right now, Street Fighter is looking pretty bad right now, because they give you 18 good looking costumes. Don't get me wrong, they look great. But you have to pay with them in fighter coins. And the outfits are 300 fighter coins a piece, but the currency, the way you purchase it, it's kind of skewed to where you have to buy more of the currency to buy like 1 or 2 costumes. In other words, it's 300 fighter coins, but the company, they sell them in quantities. Capcom, they sell them a 250, 610, 1250, and 2750 as far as coins. So if you want to get one costume, you have to buy the 610, and I think the 610 just to get I think it's 1 or 2, and I think that's $11.99. I don't know what the pricing model is, but I'm looking at this on Polygon, and it says that means players need to spend at least $11.99 to buy any of the new costumes, and if they buy 2 with that fighter coins, they have left over a balance of 10. So yeah, basically you're going to have to pay $11.99 to buy two. So if you want to get all of them, it's like $5,400 for all of them. So, and if you buy $5,400, I think you got to pay up to 19. I'm sorry, 99.98. So if you paid full price for this game, I mean, albeit if it's $70, or the ultimate edition, like me, I paid $100 for the game. You're gonna have to pay another $100 just to get 18 outfits. I don't. This is really bad. I mean, look, listen. I think Dead or Alive was pretty bad. I think Mortal Kombat 1 is another aggressive pricing model as well. I think they made you pay for a cutscene. People want to say you pay for a fatality, but you're basically paying for a cutscene, and it's pretty bad. I don't understand. Why the egregious pricing? Why does it have to be so high? I don't mind DLC paying for DLC, but it has to match the value for the average consumer, not the hardcores. Because see, the hardcore fans, and I could consider myself a hardcore fan. I just haven't been into the gaming side of Street Fighter like I used to be. Like, I played a lot of Street Fighter 4, and after that I kind of fell off because I used to play a lot of Street Fighter, even back in the day, back in the 90s. I mean, the Street Fighter, that was my game. It's my favorite fighting game. But after Street Fighter 4, I mean, I think I bought Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the PS3, and that has all the costumes, everything on disc. And I was very happy I bought that and didn't, instead of paying everything as I go with Super Street Fighter 4, all arcade edition, all this other stuff at the bottom. I bought the Ultra one, I had everything. But after that, I checked out. I didn't play much of 5, and I played a little bit of 6. But I was waiting to get the rest of the characters that come with the ultimate package. But, I find myself being a hardcore guy, but there's no way I could see myself paying a whole $100 for 18 outfits. At some point, you have to be honest with yourself and be like, am I really getting the value for what I'm paying for? Because a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. I mean, I just did a video about the Retro Tank 4K, and some people jumped on me about the value of that. And they're like, oh, paying $1,000 for an upscaler, look, if that's your thing, cool. But I gotta be honest, the average guy, and I think this is what a lot of things, a lot of people should be pricing these things on, because that is the majority of your audience, no matter what type of, niche, device or niche product that you're putting out. These niche products need to be for the masses. And, I get it. Some things are cost effective. Some things cost more than what it's, worth or cost for more out of production or whatever. I get it. But in some cases, in most cases, you got to be more consumer friendly. You just have to be. I mean, the hardcore guys are going to defend it. They're going to be shills. They're going to sit here and say, oh, I need to get all these costumes, so I will gladly pay this money. But I feel like you shouldn't be catering to the hardcore, because the hardcore gonna buy your stuff no matter what. These prices should be anywhere between, I would say at the most, maybe $40 to maybe $30. There's no reason for this to be the price. You gotta understand, this price of these costumes, if you want all of them, is the same price for the full game. Now you need to ask yourself, are these costumes the same value of the full ultimate edition of Street Fighter that you purchased? That's what you have to start to ask yourself. Like, really? And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Is the price of DLC, is it the same value of buying the actual game? That's not just for this, it's for anything. The Dead or Alive stuff, the Mortal Kombat 1 stuff. You pay $70 for this game. Is it worth $99 for 18 costumes? Is that worth more than the actual game that you purchased? And I think that's something a lot of people don't even think about. They're just like, oh, I gotta have this to look cool in the game. And it's and they're upside down in the game, because you're not getting, hey, maybe your time and money is worth more than what you think it is. Now, a lot of people probably say, oh, you broke and this, that. Okay, all right, fine. You think I'm broke, whatever. But I'm speaking, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If you think I am, that's fine. I know what my pockets look like. And at the same time, I'm looking at this like, what value are you getting out of this? Really, what value? Do you know? Do you feel like you're getting a good value out of it? You gotta understand. Like what? Look at even the Blanca DLC, isn't that the same one from Street Fighter 5? It looks like it. I mean, what are we paying for here? But nevertheless, hey, to each his own. If this is what you want to do, you feel like it's justified, fine. I mean, hey, it's your money. I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. I'm just telling these companies, look, you will make more money on the back end by lowering these prices easily. You make this anywhere between, if it's 18 costumes, if you want to make $3 per costume per se, what I'm saying, make it around $60, $55. I'm not against that. I mean, I think that's the max. If you want to make $3 off each costume, that's cool. But if you want to turn around and damn near double that price, count me out. I'll if anything, I'll buy the ones that I want. I'm a big Ken fan. I like Kimberly. Also, I've always been a fan of Cammy and Yuri. I like those characters. So I'll just buy like 3 or 4 and call it a day. And that's what you should do at the end of the day. Buy the ones that you want if you really want the costumes. If you want all of them, I mean, more power to you. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's jump over. I want to talk about the Completionist, but I'm gonna wait for that one to be last because this could be a good segue into the Street Fighter conversation. Could be a good segue to the Sony situation. Now, Sony, listen, they're deleting shows the players paid for. And I don't think it's Sony. I don't think it's PlayStation. It's more like a Warner Brothers thing. And I'm going to go through this article really quick that's on Forbes. And I'm just going to skim through it real quick, not try to read everything that's on there. And give you my thoughts and opinions on what's going on here. So let's see. Sony has announced certain TV shows that players may have bought through the PlayStation will be deleted from their libraries. Yes, shows that you paid for, just deleted. Which shows? Discovery TV shows. Let's see. Another move is Warner Brothers. They're going to be taking their stuff off, and I think it's HBO Max. No, I'm sorry. They recently merged to HBO Max, but I'll get to that in a second. Sony came out with a statement that gave the Kotaku saying, due to our licensing arrangement with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. So even if you purchased it, it is coming off of your library. So did your download list, I know it's a download list, it's called that on the PS3, but your purchase list, whatever's on the PS4, PS5, is going to be gone. So since Warner Brothers recently merged to Discovery, HBO Max, one of the rush rebrands in the industry, okay, whatever. And no doubt this has something to do with that move. And the expiration, the alteration of some of the licensing deal with PlayStation. There's a full list of shows you can check out what you may own that are about to get zapped, but there's another more big shows from the list like Mythbusters, Finding Bigfoot, How It's Made to My 600 Pound, How It's Made, My 600 Pound Life, Deadliest Catch. All of this is going away. And they say there's a few hundred shows. And Forbes also say, I'm sure there's some sort of fine print that they do not technically own the content. So you run the risk of this when you buy. Yeah, exactly. See, this is the thing. If you don't, when you buy a lot of this stuff digitally, you don't own the content. You just own the license to play it on your device, which is absolutely ridiculous. I talked about this on a video a while back. It was probably about a year or so ago when I talked about the PS3 and some of the licensing deals they have with some of these games. Like you could possibly lose all of your games because of some licensing deal. The whole CMOS battery thing, which is another issue, but they're talking about they were talking about you possibly locked out of your games because licensing deals could expire even with your games. You have to be very careful with this type of stuff. For me, what I plan on doing, honestly, if it gets to that point, I'm going to jailbreak my PS3. I haven't done it yet. I had an old jailbroken PS3, but I'm not sure. I mean, I know it for sure. It doesn't work anymore as a fat PS3, but I have a slim model, and I will jailbreak my PS3 to keep my content because of the fact that it's my content. I purchased it. I know I may have signed up for some licensing deal or whatever, but at that point, all bets are off. I mean, all bets are off because there's no reason, even though that we signed up for this, there's no reason why they should take this stuff away. Now, if it's downloaded to your hard drive, there's no reason why you can't have access to it. Do you have to get off the internet? What do you have to do? I know with the PS3, I know there's a situation where as long as your username is still on it, will always be able to uh, use that content. Now I don't know if they may patch something in for the PS3 to take that away, but it's getting to the point where, look, you're giving me an option where I cannot use this content anymore, or I can't purchase some of this content anywhere else. Like Return of the Wounded Dragons. You don't know anything about that game. It's a phenomenal beat 'em up. Or the hard what is it? The Contra spinoff game that's on PS3, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. There's a lot of things over there that you can't buy anymore. It's over and done with. So I'm not about to get rid of that content. I'm not about to lose it. I will gladly find a way to keep it on my console, because it's not like it's not like I should lose that content because of it. So it should be somewhere around that where even if you purchase this content, you should be able to keep it. Now, another thing about this, you guys want to be in this digital space, you need to be careful. I have a lot of stuff that's physical, of stuff that I want. And I talked about this on my retro gaming collecting stuff. Buy stuff that you truly want, because this stuff can be taken away from you, and it needs to be in physical form. Now, I have a few games that's digital that I know that I want to keep. There's some games that's on my digital games that I know, like, look, if I lose them, I lose them. I get it. I'm not too pressed on them. I knew what I signed up for, but there's some games that are extremely expensive. There's some games that where you cannot find anymore. There's no other way to purchase them, and they're going to be gone forever in the world of the dark web of the internet. That's the only way you're going to be able to find them. And that's where I will come in and get those games again, because I don't feel like it's definitely not piracy at that point where you cannot find, where you cannot find these things to purchase anymore. So that's my thought about that. You guys need to get on the ball about that if you really want to keep this stuff. I know this is supposed to be about the movie stuff or the stuff you want to watch, but trust and believe, this stuff can come to games just that easily. So be very careful. Last but not least, we'll talk about the Completionist. Good God. Some YouTubers make my day. Some YouTubers make my week. Sometimes I have a really bad, just a stressful week or a stressful day. I come home and I watch certain YouTubers, and it's therapy. One of the guys that I could think of was Classic Game Room. When Classic Game Room was hitting on all cylinders, which he's back in action. He's doing his thing. I remember almost on a daily basis, I used to watch Classic Game Room, and it usually put a smile on my face. Once I walk in the house, I put it on my tablet or my phone or my iPad, and I'll just watch the latest review. Or I used to watch, other people like Carl Jobs will put out a video, which is very informative. Some ordinary gamers, they're tied into this. So those are two guys that really I talk about a lot. And there's a lot of stuff that's not gaming that I listen to just to get by and just, get some informative information or just good entertainment. YouTube, for what it's worth, people can say what they say, anything things good, bad, or indifferent about it, is an excellent tool for entertainment, information, and just education. Now, the Completionist is one of these guys that I used to watch. I haven't watched him in probably about a good year or so. But Gerard has been one of these guys that was one of those wholesome type of, guys that I like to watch. I used to watch some of his content, and for him to, complete games and try to come up with this huge, collection of games was one of the things that I always found fascinating. I mean, it's something that I wouldn't do because you already know my situation with me collecting games, but I was very fascinated with the things that he's done. And one of the things he was doing was pushing a charity for people who had dementia. Now, I told you guys before when I talked about I'm not Carl Jobs, but when I talked about Gerard, was that my grandmother passed away about a few months ago, probably about a month and a half ago. It's on going on a few months. And prior to her passing away, she was starting to have these small episodes of possibly Alzheimer's or dementia. Like she knew who I was. She knew, family members. She knew my 4-year-old son. She knew who was around, but you could tell when somebody's going through it and they start asking the same questions like every 5 minutes. She'll ask like, what's your son's name, or how old is your son? I'll tell her, and probably about 5 or 10 minutes later, she'll ask again, how old is he again? Or she'll ask like, did you get such and such for me out of the kitchen? So I'll go get it. I can come back and she'll ask me, did you get it yet? Or can you go get it? She'll ask me to get it again when I already got it. So, anybody who suffered from this stuff, they kind of know what I mean. Like these type of things it was starting to foster. Now, my grandmother was 93. She lived a full life, and but you started to see it. So it was kind of sensitive, and it was kind of rough to watch that. And people who have to live their life for years with that is one of the most horrible things I can imagine that someone would go through. And the Completionist had a charity, pushing, help and research on that type of thing. So I never put in money to it, but I thought it was an outstanding cause, especially like, back then, because I didn't have anybody affected. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really think of putting anything, and not saying that I didn't want to, I just never thought about it. Trust and believe, if my grandmother was still alive right now, I probably would have put into this charity, because I would want to go to research. I would love to find ways to help, other people who are going through this. But come to find out that they're not reporting donations. That's what they're being accused of. And it is really, it's really disturbing. This is really bad when you look at a guy like this and all the things he's done on YouTube, the big following that he's had. I think, I'm not 100% sure, please correct me on this, I think he went back to help Kelsey from Pink Gorilla Games to try to resolve this whole issue about games disappearing. There's not that much access to retro games. I think he was a part of that. I'm not 100% sure. But nevertheless, he's been doing a lot of good up until, this comes up. Now you're starting to think like, is it him? Is it his family? Is he like a part of it? Is he the main person on it? But they're looking really bad right now. They're looking real bad, and they need to get this together fast, because I'm not going to lie to you. They need to be investigated. They need to be investigated by the state of California, possibly the feds. And it's really disheartening. It really is. But at the same time, you can't take people money and not report these donations. I mean, they have a golf foundation involved, not a golf, but they have a golf tournament involved. There's reports that the money's going to a address that's, linked to Gerard's family, and there's like hundreds and thousands of dollars not being accounted for. And I'm not saying that they're taking it or anything like that, or doing their own thing. It's just not accounted for. So it's getting to the point where they really need to come up with something. And what's really down bad about this is the fact that when some ordinary gamers and call jobs came up with this and was talking about it, yeah, the Completionist did talk about it for a moment, and then everything went silent. Open Hand went silent. Open Hand tried to take down Call Jobs video, or some representative from them tried to take down Call Jobs video. It's looking really bad now, because something shady, something really messed up is going on. And for them to just go ahead and say, we're going to donate this money, it's almost a little bit too late, because it's not enough. $600,000 was just sitting in the account. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. But then you have all this other money that even Jamie Lee Curtis, yes, the actor Jamie Lee Curtis, was putting her money into. There were times she was putting up to $40,000 a year, or in 1 year she did, and on an average was anywhere between $20,000 a year. for like 3 or 4, I think it was 4 or 5 years, where or probably longer than that, where she was putting money in. Like if she gets a hold of this, it could be really bad. I mean, at some point she's going to have to say something, and I mean, it's not everything's not hanging on just Jamie Lee Curtis. It's just we the people, especially if you put money into this, you need to say something because it's very bad that you put money into a situation where you thought it was going to be put into a good cause, and kind of find out this money is being held. Even if it's being held, it's a scam, guys. A lot of people saying this, it's not that bad because it's not being used. It's just sitting there. And that's not what it is. It's just because it's been sitting there for years, almost over a decade. That's not a good thing. That's just like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go buy you something, and you give me the money so I could go purchase it, and I just hold on to the money. It's basically the same thing. Or I'm gonna use this money to do something else, do something with it, and I just don't do it. I mean, either way, it's still scamming you, regardless if it's, I'm holding the money or not. Negligence is not an excuse. Negligence is a crime, gross negligence, so I don't know if this whole thing is, really scammy. I mean, I'm not there. I'm just reporting what I see, but I don't know if it's a real scam. I don't know what's going on, but something's looking really, really bad. It's to the point where it needs to be investigated. It needs to be investigated at this point because it is too many it's too many discrepancies, way too many. Even if they donate all the money, they can donate all the money and wash their hands with it. It still can be investigated, in my opinion, because look, you held this money all this long time, and even nothing may not happen to them because they donated all the money, but still, something needs to be investigated and say, okay, why did it take you this long? And they already came up with their excuses of why it took you this long, but it doesn't. 10 years is too long. You know what I'm saying? 10 years is too long. I mean, maybe if 10 days or, even 10 months, okay. 10 years plus, 10 years or close to 10 years, that's too much. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm going to keep following up on this and just see how it plays out. But we're going to get back to the positive stuff. We're going to be talking more about this retro gaming collection situation, what to do, what not to do, if you've been there, whatever the case may be. And I want to talk more about that. But usually with this cast, I try to talk about things around the gaming world and the Street Fighter thing, the Sony thing, this completion. It with all the stuff been going on this year in gaming. And there's been some crazy stuff. I mean, I didn't even touch the Modern Warfare 3 stuff. I mean, that I've checked out on Call of Duty so long ago. Oh my God, it's bad. But nevertheless, with all the things that are going on, it's been a really good year of gaming. It really has. I mean, I've got in touch with the Switch. I love the Nintendo Switch. Don't tell anybody, but I bought my son Nintendo Switch that goes to the TV. He doesn't have to worry about the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite no more. He could play it on the TV. He's going to be so excited. So I bought him that, and the other two that we have, I have a yellow and a blue one. I think I'm gonna give one to my wife and one for me, and all three of us gonna have Switches in the house. It's gonna be really cool. And so I got in touch with the Switch. The Switch is awesome. I've been I feel really bad that I'm in damn near 6 years too late on the Switch. But not only that, man, I've gotten in touch with so many other games. I've been playing more games on my PC, been playing more games in general because I kind of have a little bit more time to do so after getting settled into this new place this year. And it's just been a great year overall. Sadly, it looked like this year is about to finish out on a sad note with these topics. Hopefully, by the end of the year, Christmas time, New Year's, by then this won't be the last thing that we talk about that's a damper, so hopefully it'll be better. So look like it will be. Christmas is coming around, so it's always a good time getting gifts and buying new things and playing new things. It's always a good time there. So I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know, hit the like button. It's been fun. Hopefully all this stuff gets resolved though, because this is looking crazy. But I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna chill out with the family, do some things with them, and I'll see you on the next video. We'll be up later on this week, and I'll see you then. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.